Did you know you could sponsor Nerd and Tie? That's right, for just $20 an episode, we would say your name at this point in the show. It would be exciting, it would be neat, and you would help, feed Nick. And Nick needs food, so remember, all you have to do is go to nerdandtie.com and click on sponsor up above, or just look in the right sidebar. Again, it's only $20 and totally worth it.
On this fortnight's episode of Nerd and Tie, we remember Leonard Nimoy. You get a chance to buy a town from The Walking Dead. The Power Rangers get a Dark Gritty reboot. DC focuses on women in film. And I was at PlattCon. This and Mailbag, all on Nerd and Tie.
Yeah!
Welcome to the show.
Woo!
We didn't screw it up that time.
Huzzah!
I am proud of that. We did it.
We did it.
We did 16 tries.
We didn't muck it up.
We successfully live launched the show.
Oh,
Because we put Nick on the mic and not Fur.
Well, that's pretty much the way it works,
Introduce us, Nick.
All right, yeah. Welcome to, of course, listeners to Nerd and Tie. Not allowed to open the show anymore, I guess. Is the only comedy partner I would ever choose, the one and only Professor Fur.
Man, I don't know why y'all gotta hate. That ain't right.
Pimping out our sponsorship and preventing Fur from screwing up again is the one and only Trey Dorn.
I'm wearing pants.
I almost decided not to wear pants for this episode, because it's not like we're moving up and getting around. But I'm right
well,
here.
Well, maybe you're not.
See above. And I
And
decided against it at the last minute.
And of course, I'm also wearing pants because I am Nick Izumi, and I am a master of hip-hop keto. Oh, yeah. We'll be getting to that later. Before we get into the shenanigans, I think we should focus on, let's get something kind of sad out of the way first.
Yeah.
Because this was a real heavy hit came to a lot of us this past fortnight. After going in for surgery and really after a very long health fight, we have lost Leonard Nimoy. He passed away, wow, I was really not prepared for this, honestly.
No.
Who doesn't love Spock, really?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how much, a person that I've never met, has that kind of emotional impact on me. I wrote up something, the day he died on a week ago, and that kind of summed up my feelings.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's it was a shock. I'll admit, as soon as I heard that Nimoy had been sent to a hospital, I had this feeling I just don't feel like this is going to end well. And lo and behold, it didn't.
Yeah, yeah. He'd been in the hospital a couple times for COPD before, but I don't know. I felt like this time it was worse. And then, he got sent home, and then he passed away at home. That sucks.
All things considered, though, 83 years old, that is a respectable age. At least he did live a very good life. He lived a fantastic life, honestly.
Well, and he was active right up until the end too, which is not something you really see from a lot of actors and performers of his caliber. Usually by that point in their life, if health issues have taken over, they usually step out from the spotlight. They usually say all right, I'm done. I'm going to deal with health issues. But Nimoy loved what he did so much that he, he was, he was in the darkness, and he still looked like he was holding together just fine. We know that's not necessarily the truth, but he did what he loved to do right up until the end.
Yeah.
Well, something else that you just have to give him credit for, aside from being a fantastic actor, which he was, his writing, his directing, Obviously, who doesn't love the fourth Star Trek film? Easily the funniest one of the entire series.
Yeah.
And even Search for Spock, I think, is an underrated movie. He was great in those. His photography work, his work with women's rights. He was an exemplary human being. He really was.
Yeah.
On this note, I do have a Leonard Nimoy story. I have a personal Leonard Nimoy story that I'd like to share.
Oh, go for it.
That would not... a few years ago, I went to a Star Trek convention in Chicago. And I was waiting with some friends of mine in line for... Nimoy was going to be presenting some stuff from his photo display. He did this collection of photography that he was working on based on some Jewish folklore. And while I was waiting in line, I started telling a friend of mine a story, and it was one of my outrageous stories, and I was getting to this point, because, we were bored, and I just got to this point, that would have been the swelling action, and I really thought my friend, I could see it in his face that he was so excited, I had gotten to the really funny part of the story, and I was patting myself on the back, and then afterwards, someone was like, "Nick, do you realize what happened?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Leonard Nimoy just walked directly behind you." He was within 2 feet of me, and I never even noticed. So I almost had a moment with the late Mr. Nimoy, but I was too dumb. So that's my only Leonard Nimoy story.
Oh, Nick. Only you, Nick.
I know. Well, suffice to say, one of the greats. He will be missed. Yeah. And go read Trey's write-up, because it pretty much hits everything on the head, honestly. Wow. Yeah, that was not something I was emotionally prepared for.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people too that have been putting a lot of great stories out, and just how it's united people. I think everybody, if you're a huge Trekkie, if you're not a huge Trekkie, Nimoy as Spock had an impact on people's lives. The way that he played the character, and just that character himself, had such a, it's not often that somebody has that huge of a cultural impact. And I think it's phenomenal that Nimoy used that cultural impact to his advantage to do good things. And that's what I think an example of people, in the spotlight, if you have that kind of, do good things. And that's what Nimoy, I think, taught everybody, is be good people.
Live long and prosper. It really is. It's not just a catchphrase. It's just good. You gotta make the best you can with what you got. And I really feel Leonard Nimoy was just an exemplary good person who lived a fantastic life. More power to the guy.
Hear, hear.
I miss him. Once again, I miss someone who I've never actually met, but he was just a wonderful influence on me and on you guys and on so many of my friends. It's wow. So on that so we open on that somber note, and I think I don't know if we have
Godspeed you, Mr. Nimoy, wherever it is, wherever the next journey takes you.
Amen to that.
So, but should we go on to lighter topics?
Let's move on to lighter topics.
Well,
let's get on to something less sad.
Are you one of the giant Walking Dead fans out there? Do you want to own some kind of piece of Walking Dead memorabilia to show how much of a fan you are? Do you have almost $750,000 lying around your apartment somewhere? Well, you're in luck, my friends, because you can buy yourself an entire town that was featured in a single episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh, hell yeah!
And the season so abandoned they could take over it and shoot a post-apocalyptic. A great place to open up your business.
Now, The town of Grantville in southern in a small Georgia town was featured in the season 3 episode Clear. There's really nobody that's living in that town. I mean, there are a few people that are still there, but there's nothing really there anymore, and that's why
there's no businesses left.
Good listener, you can buy it if you have $680,000 just lying about. Yes, they're selling it on eBay.
Wow.
Okay, so what it is, it's like almost all the business buildings in downtown, some apartment buildings, and they've like thrown in a few more buildings that were also featured in the show. So it's not the entire town, it's just almost all the commercial space that the former mayor bought up as like places went out of business. And the main economy of the town are tourists who want to go because it was featured in an episode of The Walking Dead. It's all Walking Dead tours. That is literally the main revenue for the town.
And I just love that it's not even like it wasn't even like a centerpiece in the show where the group hung around for a few days. It was literally a single episode.
One episode.
One episode.
Beautiful.
It's important in that one episode. It's prominently featured in that one episode, and you see a lot of it. But it's again one episode
single
from
episode.
like 2 seasons ago.
Yep. Wow.
Although to be fair, on eBay there's also a bag of air from a Kanye West concert that's going up for $60,000 right now.
You know, with diffusion, that air is going to switch out over time because while that's enough to keep oxygen out like short term, so you'd like suffocate, regular plastic's not a complete oxygen barrier. So over time, that air is going to diffuse unless you put it in a metal canister.
Yeah, and even then, I mean that's a lot of work to get all that. Like you'd have to like be quick about it. Maybe some kind of contraption to push the air in and seal it right up.
Okay, so to go back to the Walking Dead town, like literally what you would do if you bought this town is just open up businesses to cater to the Walking Dead tours coming through that are expecting to see the place deserted. So if you make it look undeserted, you might actually risk your revenue you do with any businesses you open up in these places.
I would just hire actors to like shamble around.
Zombies.
Like seriously, go nuts.
Recreate the barricades that were in the middle of the street in that episode.
Yeah, go nuts.
Like,
put a mannequin up on the edge of a building with a sniper rifle.
Just whatever you do, don't hire the zombie guy from that one Key and Peele skit. Oh, I'm a zombie! Don't get that guy. No good.
Oh, man. I
love that this is a thing. I really do.
I don't know, like...
Sorry.
If you've got that much money sitting around and you can just, like, why the hell not? Like, yeah, I own a town that was on TV. It's me. I own it. It's mine.
Well, it's really that you could own the entire downtown of this Georgia town. But, like, there's so much you have to look into. Well, actually, here's the thing. For the amount of money they're asking, that's actually really cheap to buy all the commercial structures in a downtown.
That's a lot of property. That's some cheap property pricing.
We should get together, buy it, and then just set up Nerd and Tie there.
Nerd and Tie.
Yeah, but that would require us to do it in Georgia.
I was about to say this is on a show where Trey has said "F the South" quite loudly.
I have
several times. I don't think we should go there.
Fuck the Confederate states.
Oh.
Well, sorry, iTunes.
People who wave the Confederate flag are racist in my mind.
Oh boy.
I agree. Thanks for saying it for me, though.
I appreciate it.
And there's nothing that makes you look stupider than having a Confederate flag in a northern state.
That also very true.
There's this barn in Ohio. Okay, so when I drive to go see my father-in-law, in the middle, not where he lives, not where he actually lives, not where I live, but in the middle, on this back highway in Ohio, there's this giant cloth Confederate flag hanging from the side of a barn.
That's weird.
That's so weird.
I'm so weirded out by it when I see it like here in Wisconsin, and I see it in Janesville sometimes because Janesville's a phenomenally racist city.
Yes, it is.
And all I can think every time I see is like, you guys, you're as north as you can get, really. I mean, there is no way there's any Confederate legacy to Janesville other than how phenomenally racist that it gets.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, yeah, feel free to buy a town from The Walking Dead. Do it. Go. Invite us. If one of our listeners buys this town, we will do a podcast from there.
Or will we?
Probably not.
If the South doesn't kill us.
I think in the end the South would kill us, and it would be very dark and gritty. Speaking of dark and gritty,
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. Bam.
all right.
That's
so
how you segue.
last week, Joseph Kahn, the director, who's usually a music video director, along with producer, is it Avi Arad?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Dropped a Power/Rangers
me.
fan film on the universe, which was a dark and gritty debooting of the Power Rangers franchise.
Adi Shankar, excuse me.
Adi Shankar? Whatever. Guy who I've heard of, but whose movies I don't watch. They did a debooting of the Power Rangers starring James Vanderbeek as Rocky and Katie Sackhoff purportedly as Kimberly.
Why not? They haven't
awesome.
been up to anything.
Hey,
The
James
last thing I saw
Vanderbeek
James-
actually has regularly had shows. But
I would say Sackhoff should be filming the new Longmire for next Netflix. That's still something.
yeah. Anyways. And it was like dark, gritty, and hilarious.
Yes.
Reading what the directors and the producers have said, I think they're a little pretentious, where they talk about how fan films are like considered the lowest thing. So we wanted to create a fan film that looked better than the original, while still lampooning dark and gritty reboots and blah blah blah. Who cares? It looks cool and it's funny.
I especially appreciated that they used what I like to call the Battlestar Galactica effect, which is using extremely limited lighting and good camera angles to cover up the fact that your budget is actually not very high.
Yeah.
Like,
It was good. It was good
it's
stuff.
really
Like,
good. No,
I was shocked.
But it really pissed off Haim Saban.
and Jason David Frank.
Yeah, no one cares about Jason David
I
Frank's
just think it's
opinion.
really funny that he's angry
got,
about it.
Jason David Frank has got some weird, feud with Austin St. John that Austin St. John doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's like, I don't know why he's mad at me. And Jason David Frank's like, you know what you did? And Austin St. John's like, no, I really don't. What the hell's going on? But yeah, no, so Haim Saban freaked out, got it pulled down, and now it's gone back up after they apparently met some agreement. Mostly it's called Saban realized that they were going to offend their entire fan base if they took down fan films.
and yeah, now they have a big disclaimer on it, but I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the fact that despite it being this huge dark reboot thing, I like that they still drew from the lore.
Yeah.
I was shocked of how much Power Rangers lore I still remembered as they were recounting their version of the story. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm also glad they didn't try to cast a Trini.
Yeah.
Because, that actress died tragically in a car crash. You know.
It was it was in weird. I'm not sure if it was in the best taste though. David Yost, who played Billy Cranston in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when they reveal that Billy Cranston in their debut was outed as gay. That actually happened to David Yost.
Well, yeah,
It did.
I thought that was
and he got treated like garbage behind the scenes as a result, and that sucks.
Yeah. But I don't think they knew that. I think they knew David Yost was gay, and I think so they were trying to do some incorporation, but I don't think they necessarily understood what happened to David Yost in reality.
I think it's been interesting looking at, I mean, aside from Jason David Frank, though, how many of the original cast actually had great things to say about this little fan film.
Oh, yeah, most of them, because most of them understand.
Well, the reason Jason David... That it's all in good fun. And the thing about Jason David Frank is, from my understanding, he's already pitched this idea 2 times, 2 or 3 times, and nobody has gone with it. So he's really just upset that somebody else got to do it before he did.
The funny thing is, he was offered a chance to be in this movie. He literally was, and he shot them down.
Well, he tried to do a similar project himself.
Mm-hmm. It was just going to be the Green Ranger standalone movie. And yeah. I've loved some of looking at the stuff Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger, loved it.
Yeah, well, she's also tried to distance herself from the Power Rangers stuff a lot with her singing career and then her acting career, because she had Flashpoint for a really long time. That ran 5 seasons.
I loved Johnny Young Bosch's response. Everyone knows him from the animes now, but of course he was Adam in the Power Rangers, and he was just I really liked it. I'm glad you guys killed off Adam. That's really.
I didn't even because Rocky's the only replacement Ranger that we really see.
Yeah, I think Adam was one of the ones who they implied got killed off, in the background kind of thing.
Yeah.
Incidentally,
it was interesting that they only went with one replacement Ranger as a character.
Yeah, Karen Ashley, who played Aisha, mentioned that she was really disappointed about that. Was that they didn't mention her character at all? Whereas at least
even in dialogue, we don't need to see them, but they
at least imply that Adam got killed. They reference Adam somehow. It's Adam's dead, but Aisha doesn't even get that. Walter Jones and Austin St. John loved the Black Ranger portrayal. Of him being this total badass, at least. They enjoyed that.
And the inclusion of Hip Hop Keto.
Hip Hop Keto! That was the best part of the entire video. Okay, no. I really did enjoy this. I've been weirded out by how many people didn't get the joke. Did you guys encounter a lot of that, of people just not getting the joke?
Well, because the way they structured the joke is that it's played straight throughout the entire thing. They don't ever wink at it within the film. You know? The whole joke is you're supposed to look at it at the end and realize how ridiculous it is.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous from the beginning, though.
Well,
when they're running around in the Ranger suits with machine guns, that was that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people say, man, I thought it was a real movie. I'd be down to see that. And I'm no.
No. It's entertaining for it would I could do with another 15 minutes, but that was it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want this to overstay its welcome. It was really cool what they did.
I don't there's some stuff with Joseph Kahn, some stuff he said about fan films that I haven't liked. Talking about how fan films are usually terrible and they're all terrible, and I'm well, I can. Well,
that sucks.
I can think of the Firefly film that
we talked about on the show.
We talked about on the show. That was fantastic, and I mean it's limited as to how many good fan films there are,
but they do exist. I mean, most fan films are terrible. It's true. But if you go even classic fan films, and I say classic Troops, the spoof of cops done with stormtroopers. That's amazing. That's one of the best.
It's awesome. There are fan films as great as as the original, and sometimes surpassing, and it's arrogance from a filmmaker to say that, you know, his is the only one that does, or to even make the presumption. But it's still funny. Like, an arrogant douchebag making something funny is still funny.
That said, I did actually enjoy the angle of, you know, really, these are child soldiers. Like, and I'm kind of glad that they included that as a plot line. I thought that was kind of clever and in a dark sort of way. I really did like that. No, if listeners at home, if you haven't watched this deboot, just go watch it after the show.
Might as well.
It's really good. It's
a good fan film that does not involve Vic Mignogna.
Yay.
And it's only 15 minutes worth of time. You don't have to pay to watch it, so...
It's super cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
Ultra-violent.
15 minutes of your time and $0.
Yeah, you have literally nothing to lose, guys. Go out and watch it.
Other
It's
than
really
15
good.
minutes of your time.
And it's a 15 minutes well spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rate that quite high. I really enjoyed that. Perhaps we should move on to some other heroes.
Move on to things that are slightly better than fan films.
Oh.
Zing.
Zing.
So,
Wah.
there's been a lot of...
Uh-oh. I feel
We've
the
been
sadness
following
coming.
this story for quite some time, ever since it was announced. All the ups and downs, the will they, won't they, all the, no, we've totally got a script written to, it's technically not even been greenlit yet. But we now have, according to Deadline, odds are now pretty good that the Wonder Woman film is finally going to go into production this fall.
I don't know if that's Carnival of Sadness or if that's good. I'm
Here
so
we go.
torn.
I would say it's pretty good.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Well, I mean, like, it's nice that Wonder Woman, it's finally happening.
Yeah.
Although I don't know
they
that
have to go into production.
until we see set photos, I'm still not necessarily going to believe that it's happening because they've been so on the fence about it.
Well, here's the thing. So Suicide Squad's obviously in production, and the release schedule that they set out requires them to already have Wonder Woman shooting before Man of Steel 2. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. It has to start shooting before that comes out. So that's actually the good news, because we know that their entire roadmap is just going to get flushed down the toilet if Batman vs. Superman flops.
Right.
You know,
of course.
Because it can even do well, but if it's not a good enough of a success, they'll flush the whole thing down the toilet like Sony did with the Spider-Man franchise. So by the fact that they're going to start like production and shooting most likely prior to Batman vs. Superman coming out, it means that we'll probably still get our Wonder Woman movie no matter what. Which means, for better or for worse, for good or for bad, there will be a second official live-action Wonder Woman.
Yay! I guess. Yay.
Not counting the 60s pilot.
Or the 2000s pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 2000s pilot I'm okay with tanking, only because
it was
has
awful.
Given us Mockingbird on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And she's awesome!
Yeah, I will say, like, I don't know what happened with that earlier Wonder Woman TV failed series, but it clearly wasn't the lead actress as the problem, because she's great on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, I for what it's worth, I have watched the pilot for the Wonder Woman show that didn't make it, and the problem is entirely the writing. The god-awful, inexplicably bad writing, where the compassionate Wonder Woman does things like torture people who are in hospital beds and string people up by their necks. Yeah.
Who was the guy behind that reboot?
Shite. I don't remember. But I remember. But someone gave Raina and me the bootleg, and I was watching it, and there was actually a scene of Diana breaking into a hospital and torturing a dude in a hospital bed. And I just looked over at Raina and I'm like, oh, the world is waiting for you and the wonders you... It was like... It's horrifying. It really is. It's...
I was actually trying to give you a little bit of a segue there.
Oh, okay.
Because the person behind that Wonder Woman series was David E. Kelly, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, actually, yeah.
It was David E. Kelly. David E. Kelly was also behind a very successful television series in the 90s called Ally McBeal, starring Callista Flockhart. And in other positive DC news, Callista Flockhart has joined the cast of Supergirl.
Wow, that is...
You're on your game today.
That's really good transition.
I took us on a journey.
That was several degrees of Kevin Bacon. I love it.
Yeah, so... yeah, she's going to be playing Cat Grant, which we've known Cat Grant's role in the series for a while. We just didn't have her casting, but she's the final major cast member to be, because we've had our Jimmy Olsen for a while and obviously our Supergirl for a while. But this has added Callista Flockhart into the mix as Cat Grant, and I think it's good casting. What I hope is happening, and this is my prediction, because they've said in notes that Superman exists in this universe. He's going to be hinted at, like they're going to blatantly say Superman exists. It looks like they've cast a fairly well adult Jimmy Olsen, a older Cat Grant. I mean, not like old, but like a more adult Cat Grant. Because these characters are more successful in their careers than they traditionally are in the Superman mythos, what my assumption is that, at least in the case of Jimmy Olsen, that he used to work at the Daily Planet. And that so did Cat Grant, who's a reporter. And so I'm hoping what they're making it is that part of the Superman mythos still occurred just previous to the series.
That'd be cool. I'd be really good with that.
I think that would be the easiest thing to do. And, yeah. And we have so much neat stuff from the Supergirl series because they've started actually shooting now. They're shooting the pilot, which it's a push pilot, so no matter what, this is gonna air.
Right.
Even though it's a pilot episode, they just may rework the pilot before it airs. And because they're actually like shooting, we've now gotten the first images of Melissa Benoist in the costume.
I love this costume.
In the Supergirl costume, and
I
it's just
absolutely
fantastic.
love this costume. I mean, I know we're not allowed to use bright colors anymore in DC stuff, but other than that, it's perfect.
Well, it's designed by the same
perfect.
costume designer from Flash and Arrow, and those costumes have all been great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more muted blue, which is mostly a nod to Man of Steel, which you have to. You have to. It's a money-making franchise until the next movie comes out, and I like that they've... there's so many different Supergirl outfits they could have gone with. I mean, there's the white T-shirt. There's like 50 variations of the skirt and the boots, and sometimes with tights, sometimes with the headband. Like, Supergirl has had more costumes than any character really should. It's ridiculous, but they've combined kind of the classic looks of her costume. I like that they added the tights, which makes having the skirt much more make sense. Because,
right.
Frankly, for camera angles on television, it gets a little awkward if you can't shoot from certain angles with a flying character. But, yeah. And I'm going to hold this up for the video viewers of what the costume looks like.
That's cool. That's just...
It's just a fantastic costume. I'll admit, I was concerned. I mean, I know that the Arrow folks have really not let us down with much costume-wise, but I was worried they were either going to go New 52 or that they were just going to go really lazy with the costume, and no, this is perfect. This is really what I wanted.
And they're not, like, giving us any, like, bull with, like, Kryptonian armor or anything like that. It's like, it's the costume. This is... and also what I love is that one of the release images, there's this amazing thing, and that Supergirl is smiling.
I was about to say, that is a smile on her face. That is Kara smiling, doing that thing that she does so often in the comics.
So, I think we're gonna get the lighter tone that we get in, say, Flash, not so much in Arrow, but I think which is what a Superman franchise, like a Supergirl as a character, deserves, because these are not dark, disturbed characters. These are not the angst characters, and you do them a disservice when
I really want.
sorry.
No,
I just finished my sentence.
I want Berlin. I just really want the staff to do everything right that Man of Steel did wrong. I really want a bright, optimistic hero, and I want some whimsical adventures, and I'm really excited because, she looks great for this role. She looks she has the energy that this character should have, and I can't rave up this costume enough. It just looks so cool.
It makes me very happy. Well,
TV show superheroes, more costumes like this.
Well, it's because it embraces it. I feel like DC with Man of Steel, the muted blue is carried over because of this, but I feel like DC felt ashamed that they were making a superhero movie. And I think we've talked about this on the show many times before, that the reason why the Marvel franchises have been so successful is because they embrace the genre and they embrace the entire thing, while the DC seems to be like, please forgive us for making a superhero. Like, one of the guys at Warner Brothers said the most ridiculous thing. He said, I don't remember which executive said it, but it was that, our superheroes are more realistic. I'm like, so an alien who magically flies because of a yellow sun is more realistic than a guy in armor? Your heroes make less sense scientifically than any of the Marvel cast, but that's okay usually. The only reason they think it's more realistic is this lie that dark and gritty means more realistic. And you know what? Marvel's going to go all dark and gritty with the Defenders series. That's
they
the tone
went pretty dark
for.
And gritty with Winter Soldier, honestly. I mean,
well, but it was dark and gritty with Winter Soldier, but
with their lightest
Captain
character,
America,
I would say,
doesn't feel dark because Captain America is a fucking optimist.
Well, that was one of the best parts of the movie, though, was that in any other spy movie situation like that, you throw the main character in, and they get twisted by the dark, gritty world. And Cap comes in, and he's like this dark, gritty antivirus who just, it's like, you're not going to be all dark and gritty on me. Come on. People are good.
Well, that's, I was never a big Captain America guy. I read random stuff over the years, but I never really wasn't. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe has sold me on Captain America, and I'm realizing, and I know that the representation in the Cinematic Universe reflects the comics for a long time. So it's like the version of Captain America I had in my head before this was effectively 50s Captain America, the fake Captain America.
Okay, so you had either 50s Cap or Ultimate Cap, really.
Right.
This is screw Ultimate Cap.
Right. And what Cinematic Universe has shown to me, and I've since learned it's backed up in the books, is that Cap is a character like, oh my god, he's amazing. How have I not fallen in love with this character before? I think it took I grew up as a Batman fan, a Wolverine fan. The whole anti-hero is great, and I think it took me being burnt out on anti-heroes and dark and gritty for me to understand how important Captain America is.
Welcome to my cult. I've been an obsessive Captain America fan for most of my life. Yes, your left-leaning little buddy here has always loved Cap, because actually Cap has been left-leaning actually most of his career. Anyway, but no, this is finally DC Carnival of I could really get behind this. Let's do it, guys.
Well, you know what? It's we don't know for whether or not Supergirl's going to be in the Arrowverse, but it's the same production team.
Fingers crossed.
But my point is that these guys, whether they do it right or do it wrong, they're doing it with the best of intentions, and they're doing it with the right attitude for these characters. So, whether or not it'll be good is still gonna, we're still crossing fingers. I hope it will be. But we know at the very least the creative teams are coming at this from the right place, which means if they succeed, they're going to do it right.
Yeah, and I do really hope they can somehow break some legal dealing to make it part of the Arrowverse. Partly because I would really enjoy the Justice League Unlimited, Oliver Queen, Kara, kind of brother-sister relationship, kind of there, where Ollie became Supergirl's, he really did become her, big brother figure for a while in there, and I would love to see that represented in the shows.
That would be cool.
Also, it would be, having an optimistic character like that might save Arrow Oliver from being such a glum person all the time.
You see, that's the thing, is I won't watch Arrow. I'm tired of Arrow, but I love The Flash. And so,
There's a point where Oliver Queen's got to be the sarcastic, Tony Stark of the DC universe, like he is in the comics, though, or at least used to be.
Well, that's the thing, is really what's happened is he's become the proxy for Batman.
Yeah, well, especially this season. They're not even hiding it. They literally did the Danny O'Neill Batman versus Ray shirtless sword fight thing. Literally. And, okay, anyone who doesn't want Arrow spoilers from the last thing they did before hiatus, just cover your ears for a bit. Before they went on their hiatus again, Ra's actually said to Oliver, "I don't want to kill you. I want to make you the next Ra's al Ghul." And I'm like, wow. He straight up is Batman now.
Well, to be fair, the entire concept was, let's combine Batman and Golden Arrow, or whatever the character's name was. It's Robin Hood Batman.
Yeah.
He's a rich guy who fights crime just with arrows. And he's got a sidekick named Speedy. Why is Green Arrow... there's this great moment in, I think is it Young Justice, where, no, Speedy is Arrow's sidekick, not the Flash's. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
That line is better because the person in the crowd who says, well, that doesn't make any sense, is Crispin Freeman, who plays Speedy in the show. So they're like, oh my god, it's Speedy. No, that's Kid Flash. Speedy's Green Arrow's sidekick. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's...
Oh dear.
Such a great... So yeah, that was... I'm pumped. I really am. And if no one else has anything else to say there, I have something else that I was pumped about from this weekend.
What?
Doing my little tours, Raina and I decided to head out to another little gaming con in Platteville, Wisconsin, PlattCon, which has apparently been going since 1988.
Oh yeah, PlattCon's been around for a while.
Now, I had never gone to PlattCon. I'd heard, I had some friends who told me it was kind of boring, just a couple tables, not really anything all that interesting. But I've been doing a lot of these smaller gaming cons, and I've been having fun at all of them, so I figured I'd give another one a shot. And yeah, another small gaming con that I would recommend. They set up in one of the university's buildings, so, nothing too fancy there. I've been told in the past they did it in the university center, which sounds like it would have been much more convenient, because there wasn't really much food in the building, or in the area, so that was a setback. But they had a very nice setup for, their main room. There was a small cordoned off area with video game consoles, very cool. Tons of tables for tabletop gaming. Some that were just open for just free play. Others that had little dungeons or maps set up for people to do miniature play on. That was very cool. What I especially enjoyed, since Raina had her artist booth there, was they put the artists right in the middle of the gaming section. So in order to walk into the big gaming room, you had to walk by all the artists. So that was quite welcome. There was a small vendor room with a couple gaming shops and Angry Fox Inc., who's an anime distributor. They were there. I got to goof off with them for a bit. It was just a really cool little con. I even ran into the guys doing the demo of BattleTech actually had the old, like, this is how cool this guy's BattleTech demo was. He had the old, before FASA got sued pieces with the Dogram and Macross characters.
Awesome!
So yeah, he was like, I just walked by the table and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a VF1 in this game. And sure enough, he had a bunch of VF1s and some Zentradi mechs from Macross just free playing in this game and teaching people how to play with these characters. And he's like, yeah, I know that FASA says that these are dead, they don't count anymore, but I love these designs. And I love Robotech. I'm not gonna not use these just because Harmony Gold are dicks.
Soldiers of the Sun is way better, man.
Oh man. I know. Oh, man. I wouldn't want to watch the original version anyway. Soldiers of the Sun all the way, man. Soldiers of the Sun. It was a really cool little con. Oh, even my neighbors. My neighbors were hella cool. One person saw my Optimus Prime hoodie and immediately came up to me and started talking about the IDW comic books, which in and of itself is high-five worthy for me. We had there was another person next to us who they had an independently published superhero comic, and it was labeled Super. Just Super, a comic book that doesn't suck, was the title. But the art was beyond professional. It looked better than most of what Marvel and DC is putting out right now. Really cool book. I really hope they do well in the future, because that was just an impressive display. Yeah, PlattCon, it was only, I think, weekend tickets were only $15. It wouldn't be something that I'd travel a whole long way for, but I only traveled about 2 hours to get there, and I had a lot of fun. And I do recommend if you're into the gaming, especially the tabletop gaming scene.
That's exciting. Well, you know what it is that Wisconsin's full of little conventions like that. And PlattCon's, I've never been to PlattCon. I always meant to. Yeah.
I like small gaming conventions. There's something very intimate about them, and I really do enjoy the setup. I enjoy meeting people.
So what convention are you guys doing next?
Well, I want to make a comment about the small cons too. I mean, it's like I always like whenever StateCon happened in Eau Claire for however many years that was, and it was just that small gaming con. I mean, like just steak. Whenever steak would happen in Eau Claire, sort of that in between No Brand Con and sort of in between the middle of the year back, like during October or whatnot, it was always just a lot more fun because it was just, you'd set up, you'd hang out with people for hours, you'd play some board games, you'd get to know people. It wasn't big, it wasn't over the top, like it was always just a lot of, and then we'd go out on Water Street and hand vegetables to people. It was always a good time.
Yes.
It is worth noting, though. I mean, you do need to organize these things a bit to make them work. Like, I remember PointCon in its last few years was a little depressing. But this one really seemed to have their stuff together. Other than, I kind of wish they hadn't done a costume contest because it was a vote. It was a popularity vote thing,
God,
and that kind of stunk. Yeah,
well, but it's an old school con, so they still do that. So you guys are. So KitsuneCon's the next con you're doing, right, Fur?
Yeah. Nick and I are going to be at KitsuneCon here, and not up next weekend, but the following weekend, March 20th through the 22nd. And Nick, we're going to be doing some things there with Otaku Tonight Productions.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Whose Line Is It Anime. We're going to be doing a match game. We're going to be doing some stand up. Nick, Brandon, Kay, and I are going to be riffing the William Shatner episode of The $6 Million Man.
Oh yeah,
he was in. That's a great one. And then we're doing Fandom Feud. So we always have. I've never not been to a Kitsune Con that's fun. So it's going to be at the Key Convention Center, I think. Is how that's pronounced, in Green Bay, March 20th through the 22nd. So if you're in that area, stop by because Nick and I will be there.
Yeah, come bug us. I really enjoy Kitsune. It's one of my favorites during the year. Reina, also if you want to see all this art that I keep bittering on about, Reina Innocenti, who's guest hosted 1 or 2 times, she'll be there.
And is your fiance?
And is my fiance. Yeah, my person who I'm gonna be married to soon enough. Yeah, she'll be there. So if you can't find me at the awesome panels Fur and I are doing, I'll probably be helping her man that booth. So I won't be able to get away from you there.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me.
I'm gonna turn Nick into a full-fledged college basketball fan that weekend too. It's gonna happen.
And if you can't see Fur and Nick that weekend, you could see Nick and me the weekend after that.
Yeah.
At HiroshiCon in Illinois, at Northern Illinois University.
I just like that KitsuneCon is going to be one of those fun conventions that the Sunday happens to fall on when we record Nerd and Tie. So it's probably going to be Nick rolling in at the last minute to throw on the microphones just dead to the world, like, all right, let's do this.
I'm assuming that, because Nick doesn't end up on camera, so I'm assuming that Nick's just going to be, lying down in a bed, with the microphone, his head sideways, and the microphone just lying on the pillow next to him, going, yeah,
I wish I could do that. Oh, my God. But remember, I can't record well from my room, so I have to go down to the creepy basement no matter what.
So Nick lying on the floor of the creepy basement.
Of the creepy basement.
Just alone in a darkened, creepy basement with the microphone
with the giant
the
spider there. I'm going to have Komunga co-hosting with me.
Oh, man. The crawl space is perfect, Nick. It's just absolutely perfect down there.
Sometimes I feel like Harry Potter.
Oh, man. Skype, please update your iPad client so we can get Nick on camera, so we can see the basement.
We can see the creepy basement. I'll just make a wall of Megatrons behind me.
I imagine when we finally do get Nick on camera, it's going to look like one of those manifesto videos. Just... either Nick's here to record a podcast or he's here to get us an ultimatum or else he's going to blow up the water tower. I don't know. Your move, Gotham.
Are you ready for another lesson?
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh my God. So
come see us at Kitsune or go see Nick and Trey at Kuroshi. It's going to be fun.
Kuroshi's super fun. It's one of my favorite tiny cons in the area. Definitely survive.
Don't come up and say hi to me during the basketball game though, with the Badgers basketball game next weekend, because you will probably get ignored. I'm just warning you guys.
Definitely come up and say hi to Fur during the game. Track him down. If you don't know where Fur lives, I can supply you with his home address.
All right. Well,
there's a lot of people that want to just call him constantly throughout the whole game. Every 5 minutes, make his phone blow up.
I will have it turned off, and
then also instant message him on Facebook. Facebook message him, text him. If he still has an AIM account, figure out what that is.
God, what is my AIM name? I think it's.
I do remember it. 468.
I know what my AIM name is.
I lost my Beekeeper costume, so I don't know if they'll even take me back.
I know what my AIM username is, but I don't know what the password is.
Yeah, I know my username, but I don't remember my password at all is the thing.
I think they might have closed AIM entirely. I think I recall getting an email from them at one point saying...
They closed MSN.
There is no point in this existing. Skype is a thing. Go use that.
Boy, Nick, do I have something to tell you? You can still get AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh my God!
Still up.
The
hold
official
on,
way to
hold on a
contact
second.
Nick Izumi.
Would you like to hear this sad
Aim.
fact? As of June 2011, one source reported AOL Instant Messenger market share had collapsed to 0.73% of internet users.
That's beautiful.
Hold on, even better. This number only reflects installed Instant Messenger applications and not even active users.
Man.
That went
So
from
0.73% of the internet is using AOL Instant Messenger, and that's not even an accurate number because that's probably less.
Oh
That's
God, let's
beautiful.
move on.
Yeah, we have
The
mailbag.
mailbag.
We got mailbag.
Let's look at the mailbag. We got some letters this week, all from the same person.
Both from the same person, yes.
Both from the same person. So let's hit this off with my good friend Archimedes, with his subject for legal reasons. Hey, nerds with ties. I'm presently listening to last fortnight's episode up on the YouTube, and the segment on Wheel of Time on the Wheel of Time pilot got me thinking. If you had the rights to your favorite comic property, feel free to pick one, and you only had a week and $100 to make something to keep the rights, what would you do? I'll probably send another letter before next time, but I wanted to shoot this over to you guys. Have fun and stay warm. Archimedes. Alright. Comic franchise and what would we do?
Gosh, that's a great question.
Whew.
Well, see, the one that I want to see is actually like getting made into a TV show. So I'm kind of excited about that.
I think it's just like if you had to do something for anything, what cheap 30-minute pilot would you make to keep the rights? So it doesn't matter like what you'd really want to do with it. Like how would you save the rights? And I think if I was going to have the X-Men franchise rights, I would just do a 20-minute video about Wolverine cigar shopping. Like attempting to buy cigars in a really frou-frou hipster cigar shop and just getting angry.
I would make a Flash TV series, but like obviously I only have $100, so you can't do any of those like cool special effects to show him running. So I would have a lot of jump cuts to him being from one place and then another, and then it would just be him going about his daily day.
I would
I guess I'm gonna run to the grocery store now, and then just have him there and be like, that was sure quick.
I own a bow and some arrows, and $100 could get me a pair of purple chucks and still save me a little money. I know some people with shitty apartments and who would be willing to be thugs. I would shoot a 20-minute adaptation of one of Matt Fraction's Hawkeye comics. I don't even need a costume that way.
Do the one where he's naked.
Put on some Then I can save money on purple chucks. I just had to print out a picture of vintage Hawkeye's face. Yeah, we will. Yeah, that'll be my thing. That way I can just. I mean, like, look, I'm already a blonde guy. Even I don't even need to hire actors. I just need to get my bow out, put on a t-shirt, jeans, buy
and
purple
pretend you can't hear people,
and pretend I can't hear people. It'll be the best show ever.
Man.
Wait a minute. Should I might have an idea. Should I Kickstarter for $100 to make my Hawkeye pilot?
I'll be in it, Nick. I'll be in it.
I'm so in favor of this.
I'll be in it.
Wait a minute. We need to start. Secret meeting. We're gonna have to maybe do something at some upcoming convention. I like this idea.
I think so.
We just need to do. Dude,
We'll save it
you
for the
need
sketch
to like
show,
get
Nick.
a pair of Speedos, a flesh-colored Speedos, print out Matt like a classic Hawkeye picture, put it over your junk, and just run around as Hawkeye from that one issue.
I'll do it.
I will pay you $20
I'll
to do this cosplay.
I'll do this. Give me 5 months to get in a little bit better shape because I have a gym membership
You'd have
now.
to wear a blonde wig if you did it for.
Bring it. Let's do it.
But if one of you two does this cosplay, I will give you $20.
I will
If
do
both
that.
of you do it at the same con, I will give both of you $20. Each your own $20.
Nick, what are we doing at GeekCon?
I think we have an idea now.
Let's do it.
Oh my God.
GeekCon in August. That will give us plenty of time to get into shape and buy Speedos and print off pictures.
Do it.
Good job. Archivize, this is all your fault.
This is all Archivize's fault.
Speaking of Archivize for...
Yeah, so I have another letter from Archivize because everybody else was kind of lazy this fortnight in terms of letters. But this is a great letter. Of course, we are recording right now on Sunday, March the 8th, which is, of course, International Women's Day. So big shout-out to every single woman out there, regardless of color, ability, everybody... Happy International Women's Day.
And whether or not you're in Garfunkel and Oates. Although, special shout out to them, too.
Sadly, their show got canceled.
It did. Yeah. But happy International Women's Day to every single woman out there. You're the reason the world turns. I mean, other than, the physics behind the world turning, but like...
Momentum.
But...
Gravity.
Seriously, women are the best, and we're... grateful to every woman out there for being awesome. And but that's kind of the preface.
Archivize didn't write any of that.
He didn't write any of that, but that's the preface to this letter. Hey, nerds and ties, seeing as it's the awesome celebration of International Women's Day and Daylight Savings Time, I thought it would be cool to hear who your favorite time-traveling women are. They can be fictional or real. See you in the future, Archivize.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to go ahead and say the Leela, one of the Fourth Doctor's companions.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she kicked ass.
And there's also Romana.
Yeah. Romana. Which Romana? Romana 1 or 2? Both Romana.
Both. They're the same character. Like, I wasn't picking out an actress, I didn't.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. I like... She's technically a robot, but Cameron from the Sarah Connor Chronicles, Summer Glau's character, was pretty awesome. I mean, sure, she was a killer robot from the future, sent back in time to protect John Connor, but,
Kitty Pryde from...
Oh, man!
Boom!
What? There you go! That's like... I wish... man, and I even had the first pick! How did I not take Kitty Pryde?
Because we've all forgotten that in the actual Days of Future Past comics, it was Kitty Pryde who went back in time.
And not Wolverine. Yeah, gotta love Kitty Pryde.
I think Nick has the best pick out of the three of us on that. I'm really mad that I didn't come up with that one.
Yeah.
High five, self.
Oh, and my other favorite time-traveling woman is Dr. Von Katz. She should be arriving in 1921 about now. Like in actual life.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
That was a person I made up because he asked me both fictional. He asked both the fictional and real. So I was
good
making
luck,
up
Doctor.
a real one. I'm creating the Nerd and Tie canon here.
Well, then knowing full well that she will be successful since she was, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah.
Oh, and Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Also a time traveler.
Counts.
She's from the future.
She is.
The future.
I have no idea why I picked Stevie Nicks of all people. Like, I'm not even a Fleetwood Mac fan.
Fleetwood's Mac, all right.
Well,
gold dust woman.
You can go your own way.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
We're awful people. So, moving on to our final segment.
The Vomit Hat Steve Challenge.
The Vomit Hat Steve Challenge. Now, the Vomit Hat Steve Challenge, for those unaware, is every episode I read a section of a book. It's just a random line or two. Sometimes I read a little, sometimes I read a lot. But if you can guess what book that is, you get included in the Hall of Awesome. And that's it. Awesome. There are no other benefits to guessing the book right. But by being in the Hall of Awesome, we read your name every episode. The current members of the Hall of Awesome are as follows. Archimedes Zero, Rena Innocenti, Cheesy McDamu, Krista, Slithery D, Shameless Otaku, The Random Ramblings Man, Corfan, Capito, and Chris Graham. So, all of those people are awesome, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a hall for it. I can speak words. If you guess the book, you get included there. It's fun and excited. Now, for the last several episodes, I've been reading sections of the same book. Because no one's guessed it, I'm going to continue to read another bit of that book. And I'm going to give you guys one clue. Everything I've read from this book on the show has all come from the same page. It's all come from the same page. So, I'm going to read another little bit of it right now.
Do it. Oh, yeah.
We're fighting to the palace first. If you can guess what book this is from, go to nerdandtie.com, click on the contact form, and tell us. Or if you'd like to write to us about anything else, anything in the world, also go there and tell us. Tell us why you think Nick's got funny hair, or why fur smells like plastic.
Sometimes I do.
We want to know why you think, who you think, do you think, all of these things, and more.
All weird.
Oh, dear.
So yes, thank you everyone for joining us for another fortnight. Make sure to follow us on iTunes or in Stitcher, and of course to visit nerdandtie.com for all of your nerd news. Like us on Facebook.
Yeah, do everything. Hang out with us at cons. Do all that good stuff. Let us know why it is that you listen to us, or why you don't listen to us. Anyways.
Bastards. Have a great night, everybody. As always, I'm Nick Izumi.
I'm Professor Fur.
I'm Trey Dorn.
And this was Nerd and Tie. We'll talk to you
next... Episode 42!
Oh, that's how we roll. Talk to you all next fortnight. So long, and thanks for all the fish, everybody.
Keep on spocking in the free world.
Woo!